Lisa and I look like a couple of game show hosts up here, but because the meeting's being recorded and is actually live, we've got to talk into the microphones, or else no one will know what exactly is going on. So, but thank you all very much for showing up and wanting to take part in helping to plan Old Home Day going forward. So this is very much a transition year, and I'll give you just some very brief history and background here. But Old Home Day has been mostly volunteer-driven in the past, at least for the past 10 years or so. And it's been a very small group of volunteers that were pulling off a very large event now encompassing 5 days throughout the month of August. And those people, or some of them, are now looking to step back because they've I don't want to say grown tired of doing it, but they've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it, and now looking to turn it over to a new group of individuals. So in knowing that was happening, the town council put the charge on the staff to not take over Old Home Day, but to provide oversight for Old Home Day going forward, and to also offer support for the volunteers that'll be helping to put the events together. We still want it to be very much volunteer driven. We think it needs to be volunteer driven. But as I said, it will have the support of staff and the oversight of staff as well. Because this is a transition year, we've kind of internally talked about not having any major wholesale changes to Old Home Day in 2020. We think we can do some minor tweaks here and there, but I think we've got to figure out first how to take what has been the last few years and transition it into a new group so that those events continue to run smoothly. The biggest thing offhand that I'm thinking about is the parade. I don't believe any of us have run a parade before, myself included. And so we are still going to have the help of the folks who are transitioning out, Kathy Wagner being one of them. Kathy knows how to do the parade. I told her whoever is going to be signing up for parade duties is going to need your help in knowing what goes into it so that we can pull that off successfully for that third Saturday in August. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Lisa, and she'll bring you through the outline for tonight.
Kirby's got him back there. Yep. So,
and I'm sorry, I should have introduced myself.
I was just going to do
Kevin
that for
Smith.
you.
I'm the town manager.
And I'm Lisa Drabick. I'm the assistant town manager and the HR director here for the town. But like Kevin said, the town council has asked the staff to kind of, try and recruit some volunteers. So thank you so much to all of you, first of all, for coming and indicating an interest in helping us out. Our goal is to transition this from the group of volunteers who tirelessly put it on for so many years to a whole new group of volunteers to keep it going for the future. There will always be town oversight or involvement, if you will, because all of the money that we collect runs through our finance department, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. There will always be some town involvement, but we really do want this to be a volunteer-led event, because really it always has been. And that's our strength, I think. So just so you know, the Old Home dates for 2020 are August 12th through the 16th. I failed to put that on any of the information that you have, but it's always that third week, if you will, in August. And what you've got in front of you here is just a quick agenda. We're already kind of going through that. There's a sign-up sheet just for meeting attendance going around. If you haven't seen that on a clipboard yet, if you would find that and put your information down. But what I want to take you to is the second page, if you will. So this is the 2019 brochure that was distributed for Old Home Day. And this lists some of the sort of major events that were put on last year, but not everything. Because, for example, we always run a baby contest. The baby contest isn't listed on here. We just sort of ran out of space. But I give you this just so that you can see all of the different events that are involved in Old Home Day. But here's the good news. The Old Home Day Committee doesn't actually plan all of these. A lot of these events are done independent of the committee, but sort of in conjunction with the committee for logistics purposes, advertising, etc. So for example, if you're going down the list, the senior night out, that's put on by our Director of Senior Affairs, who happens to be here tonight, Kathy Blash, another staff member. She plans that, it's bingo. There's a concert on the Common, which is done by the groups, Concerts on the Common. Again, not the Old Home Day Committee, okay? So that's that you can sort of check off the list. Kids Night on the Common, done by the Old Home Day Committee. So that will be one of the events that we're going to ask for volunteers to sign up for. The movie night, though, is done by the police department. They take care of that. The charity softball game, police and fire. The Old Home Day Committee, to the extent they're involved in that, only deals with logistics, right? So as you go through these, you'll note there are some that, again, the Old Home Day Committee has to deal with, and others that they don't really have to deal with. So that being said, I just wanted to give you a flavor of that. If you turn to the next couple pages, these are the events that the Old Home Day Committee has always traditionally put on, or planned, been involved with, executed. So we grouped them into 6 different categories, and coincidentally, we happen to have 6 different sign-up sheets here for each of these grouping of events, and I've got 2 sets of them, so you don't, if you come up to sign up from later, one group, you can go to either this side or this table here. And I apologize too, the school board is having their budget hearing right after us here, so they're all set up already, which is why we're kind of constricted to these small spaces. But let's just go through them real quick. So you have sort of a general idea of what would be involved, because we're hoping to, get you guys excited about, oh, I really want to be involved with Kids Night, or, my thing is the parade, or what have you. And then essentially form subcommittees so that you guys can take it and run with it, again, with town assistance. So the first one is Kids Night. Dan Lekas I don't see him. Is he here? No.
I think he is.
Dan, are you here? I didn't see him. He's always been involved with Kids Night. We're hoping that he'll stay involved because, again, there's a lot of institutional knowledge there for what's been done before in terms of who they've gone to for acts on the bandstand and the games and that sort of thing. But if you look under Kids Night, those are the kind of things that would be involved in helping out with Kids Night, okay? The parade. This is the biggest one, as Kevin mentioned. We're going to need a ton of volunteers for the parade, not only beforehand, but a lot on the day of the parade to get everybody organized and where they need to be and that sort of thing. And I've listed under there some of the tasks that would be involved with the parade committee. Then we got the baby contest. It's a smaller event. We probably don't need that many folks. Is Kristen here? Because I haven't met Kristen. She's not here. Okay. So I haven't met her, but Kathy tells me there's a woman named Kristen who's done a great job with the baby contest. She still wants to be involved, but we want to get her some helpers so she doesn't have to take on that entire task herself. Then we've got the booth, bandstand, and carnival, which occurs on Saturday. There's a lot of tasks that go with that too. You got to get the acts, you've got to set up the booths, send out the booth registrations. A lot of the paperwork stuff, I just want to put your mind at ease, so sending out letters and that sort of thing. The town staff will assist with that because we have already, thankfully, Kathy's passed on to us a whole list of people they've gone to before and who may want to participate again. But we're hoping that you guys will be able to give us some new ideas too, okay, for some fresh blood. And then a couple more committees, the wildlife, creatures. Is Bob here? Yeah, oh, I didn't see you back there. Thanks, Bob. We're hoping you still want to be involved with that, and bingo as well. But we want to get you some helpers, obviously, to do whatever you need to do related to those tasks as well. And then we've got this kind of catch-all committee at the end, which is the overall logistics and public relations. There's a lot of little miscellaneous things that need to be done having to do with Home Day, including, arranging for banners and, like the PR that goes out, the brochure, etc. We want to maintain the Old Home Day website and really make it up to date all the time so that people know what's going on. There's a lot of improvements that can be made, I think, with some new blood, in the sense that people have new ideas, especially today's world of social media and that sort of thing. So we're just looking to tap your talents and your enthusiasm. So with that being said, I want to field any questions that you guys may have. The way that we envision this running is that, you guys will hopefully look at these lists, see what you might be most interested in. Certainly, you're not limited to just signing up for one of these sort of 6 groupings of events. And then we'll compile them. We'll get all you involved in one email chain, if you will, for that group. And then you guys can get together, sort of start the process. But we will also, Kathy has volunteered to come and do a brain dump to your group too, as to what's involved with your particular event. And then, one of the town staff will also help out, that sort of thing. We're trying to just figure out a way to take that institutional knowledge in the old guard, if you will, and move it to the new guard. So that's my spiel. Do you guys have any questions or concerns? Yep.
Stephen.
I'm Stephen Lee, and
Oh,
I'm
hi.
here with Julie and Rue with Concerts in the Common.
Yes.
So we really came just to say that last year we had done the concert for Wednesday night, the senior night.
Yep.
And we've already booked the band again. We've talked to you guys already. We've booked the bands for this Wednesday, for this year's senior night already. A different band, High Sound. They played last year. And so we just wanted to say that that's kind of taken care of. And also we volunteer and we do the sound at the parade on the, so I
Okay.
don't know where that checkbox is.
Yep.
Kevin sound good.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so.
Okay.
And we wanted to get into budget, of course, so just is that, so that would be part of the discussion, some, obviously not tonight.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
David?
David Steinhauer, I'm representing the Lions Club. Is Millennium Running planning to do a boot scoot and boogie that Saturday night?
That is my understanding,
Okay.
is that they're planning to do it again
Okay.
that Saturday night. So, and actually, David, I'm glad, so you're representing the Lions?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the things, maybe it was you that told me, I don't recall, but someone had mentioned that there was discussion in the Lions on whether or not you would still be doing the sausages that afternoon. And
There's some discussion still going on.
okay. But just
I'm not at liberty to go.
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay.
But at some point, if
We're
you
open for any discussion on that.
okay, yeah, because my thought is that if you're going to do it again, great. If you're not going to do it, maybe there's another vendor that wants to do
Okay.
food.
I'll have an answer for that. I know we're still interested in doing the Wednesday night. That's definitely, but, we were again approached by John Mortimer
Yeah.
about Saturday night, so there was some talk about maybe bringing the sausages over to that event.
Okay.
So that's still up for discussion yet.
Okay.
And I should have given you just sort of a little bit of a timeline. I don't want you all to think, oh no, we're, it's only January. So we've got plenty of time before we need to really get things going. But we would like to, get our volunteers, get a list of people together for each of these sort of events, get those groups going. According to Kathy, in January is when they would always have their organizational meeting anyway, assign their volunteers to their events, if you will, or, everybody kind of knew what they were doing. They do a big mailing soliciting sponsors and parade acts. We will do that this year, the town staff, again, because she's provided us with all of that information. In February, the subcommittees would start to meet, or, they'd start working on their events, those sort of things. In March, I'm sure you guys are aware, there's always a theme every year for Old Home Day, and those are apparently done through the elementary schools, the 4th grade programs. Yes.
I was 4th grade last year, and what they did is they had the 4th grade elementaries from all the schools bring in their ideas,
Okay.
and then the Old Homes Day committee chose a topic.
Chooses the theme, right? Excellent. Yep. So I would propose we do the same thing again with the new class of 4th graders. And so I guess in March is when that'll go out. We will take care of that as town staff. A lot of the administrative stuff like that, we intend to take care of this year. But in conjunction with the sort of logistics committee that I was talking about, so we can sort of pass that information on to you all. And then in April, booth forms go out for the Saturday booths. We'll take care of that as well, in conjunction probably with the folks on the Saturday committee for the booths and carnival games and that sort of thing. But, and then we have to choose a grand marshal. And so apparently there's a whole process for that that's laid out. I don't know exactly what that is yet. But, so there are things that happen along the way, but we've got plenty of time. Tonight is mostly just organizational. Field any questions. Thank you so much for coming. I don't know how many times I can say that. It's good to have some new volunteers. So,
Ian.
Ian.
The Morrison House, the Londonderry Historical Society has always been a part of Old Home Day. When I was president, I also was on the board, not the board, the Old Home Day Committee. And I hope we are considered part of Old Home Days. We're down the street, but only because our facility is down there, and we'd love to entertain anybody who was interested in helping us volunteer.
Yeah, absolutely. I would think that any kind of marketing promotional material we do will have what the historical society does down there. I know last year it was a big hit.
I hope we can do that again, maybe with somebody with the group's help too. And I want to say on the listing, it said about the Touch a Truck event. It's under Morrison House Museum, but we don't have anything to do with that. But I just don't want that to be left out. It's still a integral part of.
It is. As I understand that, that's put on by one of the PTAs usually.
I wasn't sure how it got under
Yep.
Morrison House.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
I just want to
I
mention
just didn't-
too, that's part of Old Home Days.
Okay.
It's become part of it.
Right. Right. Yep.
And Dan, we had mentioned earlier that we're hoping you're still going to want to be involved with Kids Night.
I thought it was gonna work like, oh, I wasn't here, so you just nominated me for it.
It was going to work that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are there other questions? Yeah.
When are you guys gonna talk about ideas and get everything scheduled?
Ideas for,
Different events.
Yeah.
we can talk about that tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a few ideas.
What's that?
Have a few ideas.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
Can I say them?
Absolutely.
Me and my mom were talking about beating the world record for couples dancing, and the LHS band could be playing. It would be on the football field. And I also had a pie eating contest idea.
Oh. You grab that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like what towns do. It's like everyone knows each other, like
Mm-hmm.
feels like family.
So were you thinking of on the Common maybe on Saturday when all the other booths are there and the games and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
There'd be a cookie contest. My mom had an idea for an eligible bachelor and bachelorette picking.
Something's going on there, Ted? Straighten up. No.
And it would be a bidding, and the money would go to a local,
teenagers to get rid
to a local charity, and it would benefit our town.
Okay, those are good ideas.
Supposedly the one dancing, the couples dancing at one time, I believe it, she said it
It's
was
like
2,500 couples.
Huh.
Oh, wow, really?
It's a lot
But I
Okay,
mean, it's doable,
yeah,
with teenagers too. Teenagers could. do
okay, they could be eligible.
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be teenagers.
okay. These are good ideas, so you should sign up for the Saturday day, okay?
And ideas like this on ways to add more events, more activities are going on, things that'll draw more people in. We want to hear about them. As I said at the beginning, it's major wholesale changes we want to stay away from, at least for now. But ideas like this are great. And so if other people have things that they think will add
Yep,
to the
enhance.
value and,
Yep.
and to the experience of Old Home Day, you know, we want to know about them. And
Saturday night on the Common, do they still have the teenagers' music? They're a band or
well, that was
what's on Sunday?
yeah, that was the Saturday night. That was one question that came up on whether Apple stock was going to continue or not. I don't know what the participation was last year.
I can give you some history. Adriana Comst, who worked for me at the Londonderry Times, started that event. And we used to run it, and it had a lot of activity. And then when Adriana kind of backed away from it, it kind of went downhill, and they weren't getting the bands that they needed, even though this year a couple of bands did show up.
Oh, so they did have one?
They did. It was small, though, compared to what it was back in the day.
Is,
Because I sat on Old Home Day in 2000 till 2005, and then I stepped off.
now on Sunday, did they have a schedule of events for Sunday also? I know there is like a
I think it was just the
religious service.
the car show, the Rotary car show,
Oh, okay.
and then the churches do the day of service, I believe.
Last year they used to do kind of an ecumenical service on the Common on Sunday. I don't think they did that this past year. What they did instead was what Lisa was talking about, which was a day of service, which they went out and did community service activities. So
it's not really related to Old Home Days, or is it?
it's related, but the churches, it's one of those events where the churches do it independently of Old
Right.
Home Day, but it falls on that Sunday of Old Home Day week or at the end of it.
And is that day of service just for the people who belong to the church or the community?
That's for anyone
Not
that
just
wants to be
for-
involved
Yeah.
with it.
If anything else can be done on the Common, you know, during that day, if people have ideas to extend the weekend if you want.
Absolutely.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. We're open to ideas if people have them. And we don't have to have them tonight,
Right.
but as you're thinking about it on ways to enhance, again, the events over the 5 days, we want to know about them.
Right, thanks.
And, again, and I want to just echo what Lisa was saying, we really appreciate all of you showing up and wanting to get involved with this, because it is it's only as good as how many volunteers we have and how much time people want to put into it. A perfect example is Adriana putting all that time in, but when a volunteer then leaves,
Right.
oftentimes things
Pushed out.
things don't happen anymore. So, but that's why having a good size number of volunteers definitely helps.
And obviously, this is a much bigger group than what they had before, which is amazing. I think we envision it's just going to have to sort of develop organically. But like I said, if we get folks to kind of not segregate themselves, but say, okay, I want to help particularly with this portion of Old Home Day, and then there's that group that's meeting to get that going. I envision we probably would only have the whole group back together. I don't know, once a month maybe, or maybe not even that often, but closer to Old Home Day, or maybe just sort of one person from each of those groups so they could report in on what's going on and make sure we're all kind of on the same page and moving in the right direction. So the biggest time commitment, I think, is obviously as you get closer to the event, right, to actually execute your event, and then Old Home Day weekend. But there'll be just a little bit leading up to it to get things going.
Have you been in contact with Reed Page Clark?
Yes.
Yes.
And we can't,
Reed will still be involved.
I was
Yep.
gonna say, we can't fill his spot on the.
Oh, no,
He's still-
definitely not.
Or, distributing the trash cans for Old Home Day. He takes pride in that, riding with the delivery truck for the trash cans. And he came down to Morrison House beaming up in the, you
I
know,
love it. That's great.
passenger seat of the truck that delivered him, but he's
Yeah. No, he will definitely still be involved.
indispensable.
He is, no question. And you know, I love your ideas. You know, one of the things we added last year kind of wasn't at the last minute, but we decided to do the hammer toss between the fire chief and the police chief. And it ended up being a great, just, you know, kind of fun contest, you know, between the two chiefs, and drew some attention, and it was just another fun enhancement to the day for people that were there. So the different contests and stuff, I think, are great ideas. So are there any other questions? And if not, what we'll probably have you do is, as Lisa mentioned, there's sign-up sheets here. Sign up for one or as many as you'd like to get involved with. And then once we have everyone, we will staff will organize the meetings of the subcommittees
Right.
to go over and meet on these things. In the meantime, if you have other ideas you want to talk to us about, email us, call us, come see us, but let us know, you know, what it is that you're thinking. Anything else
No,
at all?
I think that's it.
Okay.
So there's two different sets. These are the exact same right here, so that if you guys want to come up, you don't have to elbow each other out of the way, hopefully.
If somebody has the sign-up sheet too, I think there's a few people who have it.
Yeah, just the meeting sheet, that'd be amazing. Thank you.
All right.
All right,
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you, guys.
Sign up away.